Imagine you are floating in space, not the peaceful, silent kind you picture when you close your eyes, the real kind, the kind where one wrong move ends everything. You're looking at a planet below you, and it is beautiful, swirling gold and amber clouds, vast and hypnotic, like a painting that goes on forever. You reach toward it instinctively. Something about it pulls you in, and then your instruments start screaming. Venus, the second planet from the Sun, named after the Roman goddess of love and beauty. And when you see it through a telescope for the first time, that name makes sense. It glows. It is the brightest natural object in our night sky besides the moon. Ancient civilizations thought it was two separate stars, one that appeared at dawn, one at dusk, because it shines that powerfully. For thousands of years, poets wrote about it. Navigators followed it. It felt like a gift from the cosmos. But something is wrong. Look closer. Those swirling clouds aren't water vapor. They aren't ice crystals. They are made of sulfuric acid. And beneath them hides a world so hostile, so violent, so fundamentally broken, that NASA engineers don't just worry about sending humans there. They worry about sending machines. Venus is not a planet we haven't explored because we haven't tried. Venus is a planet that destroys everything we send into it. Here's where it starts to get dark. The moment any spacecraft or any human being descends into the Venusian atmosphere, the pressure begins. At first, it's manageable, but you're not landing on the surface at first. You're falling through nearly 50 miles of dense, churning atmosphere, and with every mile you drop, the pressure multiplies. By the time you reach the surface of Venus, the atmospheric pressure is 92 times greater than Earth's at sea level. Let that number land for a second. That is the same pressure you would feel if you dove 900 meters into Earth's ocean. That is the kind of pressure that doesn't just hurt you, it doesn't just damage you, it compresses you, it folds metal, it crushes titanium. It would kill an unprotected human being in less time than it takes to realize what's happening. The Soviets sent a probe there in 1970, Venera 7. It was built to survive. It touched down and transmitted data from the surface for exactly 23 minutes. Then, silence, forever. 23 minutes. That's all the toughest machine the Soviet Union could engineer managed to survive on Venus. But here's the problem. That wasn't even the pressure that killed it. Because Venus is hot. Not desert hot. Not it's July in Arizona hot. We are talking about 462 degrees Celsius at the surface. That is hotter than Mercury, the planet closest to the Sun. Think about that. Venus is twice as far from the Sun as Mercury, and it is still hotter. Every single day, every single night, because Venus has no night. Not really. The same suffocating heat blankets the entire planet all the time with almost no variation. This happens because of something called a runaway greenhouse effect, and when scientists study Venus, they go quiet in a specific way, the kind of quiet that means they're thinking about Earth. Because Venus was not always like this. Billions of years ago, Venus may have had oceans. It may have had a climate not entirely unlike our own. Some models suggest it was habitable, maybe for 2 billion years, and then something tipped, some threshold was crossed. The carbon dioxide built up, the heat was trapped, the oceans evaporated, the surface baked until it became what it is now, a self-sustaining oven that never turns off. It got worse, and it never got better. But it gets worse for us too, because you would never even make it to the surface without passing through the clouds. And the clouds of Venus are not passive. They are not just atmosphere. They are rivers of acid moving at 300 kilometers per hour in the upper layers. Winds so fast they circle the entire planet in just 4 Earth days, even though Venus itself rotates so slowly that one Venusian day is longer than one Venusian year. Your ship enters the cloud layer. The sulfuric acid begins to eat the exterior on contact. The winds catch you sideways. The pressure builds from below while the acid corrodes from outside. The heat begins to bleed through your hull. You have instruments reading danger from every direction simultaneously, and there is not a single safe vector. Not up, not down, not sideways. The Soviet Venera probes were specifically acid-resistant, hardened, reinforced, and most of them still died within an hour of arrival. The best surface survival time ever recorded by any probe on Venus is 127 minutes. 127 minutes. That is the absolute peak of human engineering achievement on that world. And this is where things change.
Because in 2020, something was detected in the Venusian clouds, something that should not have been there. A chemical signal, phosphine, that on Earth is primarily associated with life, microbial life. Living organisms metabolizing, existing, producing a chemical byproduct that drifted up through the acid clouds and was caught by our telescopes. Scientists argued about it. They still argue. The data has been reanalyzed, contested, defended. No consensus has been reached. But here's what nobody says out loud enough. We don't know what's up there. In a band of clouds 50 kilometers above the surface, where temperatures and pressures are actually closest to Earth-like conditions, there may be something alive, something that has adapted not just to acid, not just to extreme pressure, not just to heat, but to all of it simultaneously. Something that has been evolving in that nightmare for millions, maybe billions of years. We have not sent anything capable of detecting it properly. We don't have the technology yet to survive long enough to look. And that is not just terrifying from a scientific standpoint. That is terrifying from a philosophical one. But that's not even the worst part. The worst part is what Venus tells us about ourselves. NASA's Da Vinci mission is currently planned to send a probe plunging through the Venusian atmosphere, the most ambitious Venus mission in decades. Scientists who work on it describe the engineering challenge the way soldiers describe entering a war zone. Not with excitement, with respect, with a kind of controlled fear. The probe will have approximately an hour to do its work before the planet consumes it. 1 hour. Decades of work, billions of dollars, the full power of human ingenuity. For 1 hour on a world that is geologically almost identical to Earth. Same size, same density, same rocky composition, same distance range from a star similar to ours. Venus is Earth's twin, and it became hell, not from an asteroid, not from a cosmic catastrophe, from a greenhouse effect, from trapped heat, from an atmosphere that crossed a line it could never uncross. Climate scientists study Venus not just as an alien world, but as a warning. A full-scale model of what happens when feedback loops tip past the point of return. A planet that had its chance, that may have even had its life and lost everything, not in a dramatic explosion, not in a collision, but slowly, irreversibly, 1 degree at a time. Stand back far enough, and the universe starts to feel like it's trying to tell you something. We look at Venus and see a mirror that has been slightly horribly cracked. We see a planet that was given everything we were given and ended up with nothing. We see 92 atmospheres of pressure, 462 degrees of unrelenting heat, acid rain that never reaches the ground, winds that never stop, and somewhere inside all of that, maybe something still alive, still surviving, still enduring a world that wants it dead, and we haven't touched it. Not really, not meaningfully. Every machine we've ever sent there has been consumed. Every attempt has been humbled. Every lander has been silenced. NASA doesn't talk about Venus the way it talks about Mars. There are no romanticized visions of human colonies. No talk of terraforming. No dreams of standing on the surface one day. There is only engineering. Only caution. Only the quiet acknowledgement that some places in the universe are not waiting to be explored. Some places are waiting to be respected. Venus doesn't hate us. It doesn't even know we exist. It is simply what it is, a complete, total, merciless environment that operates by its own rules and answers to nothing. And if there's one thing that planet has spent 4 billion years proving, it's this. The universe did not make room for us. We are here by accident, on the one world that decided, against all odds, not